Hey everybody, and welcome back to It's Only Food with Chef John Politte. Today we are making ziti with a pork ragout. You are not going to want to miss this one. Well, hey, and welcome back to It's Only Food, and thanks so much for watching. I am Chef John Politte, and if this is your first time watching this channel, or you just want to learn how to make awesome food, or maybe even learn how to start your own cooking channel right here on YouTube, then start right now by clicking on that subscribe button and then hitting that notification bell to be notified each and every time I upload new content. All right, well, you clicked on this video to watch me make ziti pasta with some pork ragout. So let's head on into the kitchen and see what our ingredients are. And here is our list of ingredients right here. We've got our ziti that we're going to be using. I got some rosemary, sage, and thyme right here. I'm gonna back out here. I got some garlic, tomato puree, olive oil, some crushed red pepper, petite diced tomatoes, an onion, a red pepper, carrot, and celery. And the star of the show is going to be some pork that we're going to braise and stew with these aromatics and vegetables here. But this is some cutlets that we bought. We've used this purchase of cutlets in 3 different shows now, but we are going to set off on a braise with these after, of course, I cut up our aromatics and our vegetables there. All right, like I said in the beginning of this video, we got our aromatics and our vegetables here that we're going to cut up, and we're going to put them at a nice sized dice, because we're just going to braise off our meat, brown each side of this in the pan with our olive oil. Then we're going to throw in our chopped vegetables, and we're going to stew this down until it breaks apart and we can combine it all into a nice ragout. All right, we're just going to cut these, like I said, kind of a rough cut, large dice, whatever you want to call it. There we have our vegetables all ready to go. We have our pork right here, seasoned up, ready to hit our pot full of hot oil. So let's head on over. All right, we've got our oil in the pan. I'm gonna let that get a little hot. We're just gonna brown off our pork on both sides and then leave it in there, and then add our vegetables in there. Combination cooking, braising and stewing are two different methodologies involved. And we are going to also do sequential cooking as well, because we're going to be adding ingredients as we go along in the cooking process. So as soon as this oil gets hot, we will add our meat and brown it off. Okay, well, I'm missing the video I made of me putting the meat into the pan. But basically all we're going to be doing is we're going to be browning the pork on both sides, so we can start the braising method with the vegetables in there. So we got one side browned. And we're just going to let this go till the other side is browned. Alright, as you can see, I cut that bigger piece of pork that was in there because I want everything to be kind of uniform. That helps along the cooking process. This is actually going to be a stew because everything's kind of the same size and uniform pieces. A braise is more or less larger cuts of meat, like a roast or a loin. So I'm going to call this a stew, but it's also a braise. So right now we're going to add our vegetables in there. I'm going to just cover it up. Well, this process is probably going to take 1 to 3 hours, maybe longer, I'm not sure, depending on the size of the meat, the cooking process, the texture of the meat, the tenderness. But it's going to cook down with the vegetables into basically a mush. And then I'm debating right now whether I want to use my immersion blender or not to make it all ground up, or if I want to just kind of pull it apart by hand. We'll see what it looks like when it all breaks down and all the vegetables are broken down as well. Oh yeah, we got a nice sweat going on these vegetables here. We're going to add the tomato puree and the diced tomatoes here, and just a little bit. I want to just get these vegetables a little bit softer. We'll add those tomato products, let it cook down a little more, get it closer to where it's going to start breaking down before we add our fresh herbs to it. We do have onion and garlic in here though, so we got the aromatics working on the flavor profile right now. I'm going to cover this back up and we're going to let it cook down a little bit more before we add our diced tomatoes and our puree. Alright, I'm going to take the lid off here. Alright, we got everything kind of breaking down. I can smell the flavors in this pot are just fantastic with that meat, the celery, the onions, and the pepper, garlic, of course. Vegetables are getting softer, as you can see, so I'm going to go ahead and add our tomato right in here. And we're going to stir this up. The tomato, the acidity in the tomato will help break down the fibers in the meat as well, and also add another layer of fantastic flavor. So we're going to let this get back up to temp again before we add our tomato puree. Alright, now I got our puree. I'm just going to put it right in here. And this is for Chef Chris. You notice that I have a tripod in this shot. I'm not holding my camera, so you get a kick out of it. It's a private joke between me and Chef Chris, but he knows who he is. Alright, buddy. I'm going to cover this back up. We're just going to let this cook down for about an hour. I have lowered the heat just a touch. We're just going to let it cook down so I can turn out these lights that are in my face. And over here. And just let this cook. We're about an hour and a half into the cook here. Coming along nicely. I tapped the spoon down in there. The beef is, I'm sorry. I tapped the spoon into here and the pork is starting to break up. The vegetables are of course dissolving. I did add a little Worcestershire, salt and pepper, and a little bit of sugar in here because when I opened the pot I could smell that it needed a little bit of sweetness to cut that acidity of the tomato. So I'm going to close the lid on it again, go about another half hour. I'm going to add the fresh herbs to this and we'll let it continue to cook. Alright, I've got our fresh herbs. I'm going to add our red pepper too, just a touch. I'm not going to throw a lot of it in there because it does, the heat increases as it cooks too, so I might add this last. Our fresh herbs are ready to go in, so I'm just going to take our lid off. Whoa, steam's up. Pop them right in there. Nice bouquet of rosemary, sage, and some thyme leaves. Stir that right up. Put our lid back in and let it cook. Well, I originally had a dish like this, where I got the idea for this show is when I was at the Milwaukee airport on business, I stopped at the restaurant called Nonna Bartolotta's, and I had this. It was called pork bucatini, which was on a bucatini noodle, which is like a spaghetti noodle, but you get a hole through it. So I could not find bucatini pasta in our stores anywhere around here, so I just grabbed a Ziti pasta, which is a smaller shaped pasta with a hole through it too. I think bucatini actually means rope or hole in Italian. Hopefully I'm right on that too. But this was a wonderful dish that I had. There's a picture of it right there. And it was really good. And that's what inspired me to make this version of it for It's Only Food. Let's go back to our lovely dish that we're cooking. Alright, we're going to go ahead and put our ziti in. About half this box, about 4 servings. So we're going to let this boil up and cook, and then we are going to plate up our fantastic pork ragout on top of it. Alright, we are ready to add this to the pasta. I'm just going to spoon it over the top. You know the drill. We are going to plate this up, make it look pretty, take a ton of pictures of it for social media. Take those pictures, put them on the timeline of this video, and add some groovy music to it. Cue the music. done with it, plate it up. It smells really good. I'm going to put the camera on a different tripod so we can taste this. But this is looking really good and it smells fantastic. All right, there's that bite. A little big bite there. A little pork, tomato, cheese, some of that ziti pasta on there. Give this a Oh, very good. Very, very good. Got some earthy flavors there. I think if I'd have ground it up, it would have been nice for presentation wise, much like the restaurant did. But the flavor would still be there. It would look like a sauce more. This is more like a little thickened stew almost on top of that pasta. Very good. This takes almost a day to make, but I hope you give it a try. All right, thanks so much for watching. Do not forget to hit that description box below for the 5 links that I have down there for you. The first one is a link to all my e-commerce stores that I have my gourmet seasonings on. The second one is a link to a playlist that I have made of how to make a YouTube cooking channel. The third link is for TubeBuddy, which is a toolkit that you will need in order to make your YouTube cooking channel a success. 4 is a link to my Amazon storefront. Everything I use on this channel is in a storefront there. Click on that link, you'll see everything I use. It is an affiliate link, so I do make a little bit of money on each purchase that is made. And 5 is all my social media links that I have. Don't forget that I have a chef page on Facebook that is also an aggregate site for other creators on YouTube that I like to feature on there. So click on that chef page one and give it a like as well. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already. Make sure to like this video and this channel. Leave all your comments right down below. And then do me a favor and share this video and this channel with everybody you know. Thanks a lot for watching. We will see you again right here on It's Only Food with Chef John Politte. Bye-bye.